She boarded quietly, blending in among the crowd of travelers. To most, she was just another woman taking her seat. But beneath the calm exterior, she carried a lifetime of discipline, resilience, and a truth that would silence an entire cabin. The tension began subtly, a glare, a muttered remark, a challenge to her very right to sit in first class. Soon, whispers turned into confrontation, and the air thickened with hostility. What no one knew was that this moment would end with a revelation that no passenger would ever forget. Wait a second. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Her name was Alicia Carter, a woman who had risen from modest beginnings to become one of the most respected figures in her field. Born to parents who worked tirelessly, her father as a bus driver and her mother as a nurse, Alicia learned early the value of determination. Education had been her escape, and years of dedication had led her to a career marked by excellence. Despite her accomplishments, Alicia carried herself humbly, never needing validation from strangers. This trip was supposed to be routine, a flight to attend an international conference where she would deliver a keynote on justice and equality. Wearing simple clothes and carrying only a leather satchel, she preferred comfort over show. To Alicia, success wasn't about appearances. It was about impact. But as she settled into her first-class seat, she was about to be reminded that to some, her skin color spoke louder than her achievements. The man seated 2 rows ahead turned. First, his expression sharp, eyes narrowing with disapproval. He shifted uncomfortably, his lips pressing thin as he watched Alicia recline. Minutes later, he summoned a flight attendant, his voice low but laced with venom. Soon, whispers spread across the cabin. "She doesn't belong here." A murmur of agreement followed, as if the space itself were reserved for a select kind of passenger. Alicia sat still, her heart steady, but the weight of every stare pressed against her like chains. The man rose, approaching her seat with arrogance. He demanded she move, insisting she must have wandered into the wrong cabin. The flight attendant hesitated, glancing between them, visibly torn. Instead of defending her, the attendant asked Alicia for her ticket, as though her presence alone was suspicious. The humiliation burned, not because she lacked proof, but because of the unspoken message. She was guilty until proven worthy. Passengers watched, some with discomfort, others with smug satisfaction. Alicia handed over her boarding pass calmly, the golden letters of first class clear for all to see. Yet the man smirked, undeterred, whispering loudly enough for others to hear. "Must have been upgraded for pity." The insult cut deep, not because of its words, but because of its echoes through history. Alicia remained silent, but within her grew a storm. What they didn't know was that her identity held far more power than they could ever imagine. And soon, that truth would break the silence. The man reached for her arm, intent on forcing her out of her seat when Alicia finally stood. The cabin froze. Her voice carried no anger, only calm authority. As she reached into her satchel and withdrew a leather badge case, she flipped it open, and the gold shield glistened under the cabin lights. Gasps rippled through the rows. She wasn't just a passenger, she was a federal judge, one of the youngest ever appointed to the bench. The same laws that granted him the right to travel protected her right to sit exactly where she was. His face drained of color, the arrogance collapsing into silence. Cameras caught every moment. In that instant, the confrontation was no longer about a seat. It was about truth laid bare before the world. The man returned to his seat, humiliated, while the cabin remained hushed. Alicia sat back down, not triumphant, but weary, because for every moment like this, countless others go unseen. By the time the plane landed, her story had already begun to spread online, a spark igniting conversations about dignity, respect, and the quiet battles Black women fight daily in spaces they've earned. Alicia knew this wasn't about one man's prejudice. It was about a system that too often looked away until forced to confront itself. Yet her calm defiance reminded everyone of an undeniable truth. Power isn't proven by shouting. It's revealed in silence that demands respect. How many more stories like hers must unfold before society truly learns? Which country and city are you watching from? Take care.